Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always. Apologies for the delay in getting the content up today. It's been a busy weekend and I was there. My partner bought me Oasis tickets for Wembley for my 50th birthday and we went last night. So not going to be a great deal of me on cam. Today is a recovery day. Sorry about that. During the fiddling around, I accidentally turned off the mic. So yeah, today's a little bit of a recovery day. So not going to be enormous amounts of me on camera. So right, today, let's have a little look at the products. First, we have got Autobrite Direct Magifoam pre-mixed up in 4 different ratios. So we have 10%, so that is 50 ml of product in 450 ml of water. And then we have 5%, that is 25 ml of product in 475 ml of water. Then we have 2.5%, which is 12.5 ml of product in 487.5 ml liquid. And then we have 1%, which is 5 ml of product in 495 ml of water. So we're just going to launch that at the car and I will swap it in and out of the cannon as quickly as possible, and we'll do one on that panel, that panel, that panel, that panel, and then once we've just done that to look at cleaning efficiency and of course some swab tests, I'm going to swap the car around so we can get to the even dirtier side, and then we'll do 50 ml new touchless versus 50 ml Magifoam and swab tests. So we've got a good even amount of well distributed dirt, so that'll be a good opportunity to test Magifoam versus touchless. Right, let me pause, get this on a tripod, and I'll show you the other products I'm going to use. So I'm going in for a fairly decent deep clean today. So we're going to do Magifoam and touchless for the pre. I'm going to do auto wheel and garage therapy wheel shampoo for the wheels. We don't need to look at that bit today. You've seen it plenty of times. Garage therapy tyre serum for the tyres. For the contact, I'm going to use Chemical Guys Citrus Wash and Gloss. Just want to get this used up now. So I'm going to deliver that using the Canon. We've got CarPro ECH20 rinseless, 4 capfuls of in the rinse bucket for extra lubrication. And then I'm going to try, I think, 5 capfuls of this in 200 ml of water, and then we'll shoot that out of the car, rub it into the windows, the glass, sorry, yeah, windows, glass, and then rinse it all off and dry the car. So we use it as a little bit like a drying aid and last stage protection. Right, let's get straight in. So I'm just going to throw these into the cannon, one after another, nice and quick, and try and get them up simultaneously, if possible. And with what I've got left, I will put back in the cup. And use that for the rest of the vehicle. So, cannon set to max. Delivering using the Auto Glim Polar Blaster purely because that device was out. And let's get a panel So that's the strongest one. This is 5%. This is where I need my daughter helping. This is 2.5%. Which is a surprise. And finally, 1%. 5 ml of product. So as you would expect, pretty much. Interesting though. 10%, 5%, 2.5%, 1%. So what's interesting is you could definitely get away with the 2.5%. No worries. Not on this car, admittedly, because it is filthy. But for a maintenance wash on a well-protected car, just removing summer dust and environmental fallout, I think you'd be all right. Right, let's let that have a little dwell. And then we'll start banging that off. And as I say, when we do the other side, I'll swap the car around. So that's had time for a little dwell, nothing too insane. And let's get into this bit first. Nice. Camera check. I'm just seeing what the upshot is of getting it on the wheels. Just cleaned the back one. Right, I'm just going to pause, get the camera down a bit. Let's just do a swab of this. So we've got sort of decent water action here. So I think I'll do a swipe there. Just make sure that's in shot. And that's good. And then I'll swap and do the upper. And that is good. I'm going to place that next to the dilution pot that achieved that. And then, as per normal practice or my standard approach, we'll do similar locations, and we'll do, let's do the lower, that's the one. Main engine. And then we'll do an upper, nearly clean. So this is going to be interesting to compare. So providing I always do lower first, upper second. So we'll have a look here. You can see that's pretty grisly. So that's with the really weak 2.5%. Good, healthy swipe. Nice. And last but not least, the 1% club. And we'll get a nice, where are we going? I think we're going to get this bit, which is as you would imagine, and then an upper, which is also sort of as you'd imagine. Pretty good performance, really. Right, let's go and have a look at those. Here's my test bed. So, this was the strongest one. All good. Second strongest, lower, upper. Second from the weakest, lower, upper. And the weakest, lower, upper. Just patting it to make sure it's indeed wet. I didn't get a good lower swab, or what happened was it folded. So we'll do that one more time on this lower. I didn't want to do that corner because I didn't hit it too hard, but I need to be totally fair. So yeah. So indicative, mind you, saying that was the strongest one, so it's done pretty good. Right, let's get the car turned round and we'll get into touchless. So we've got 50ml of new touchless in the MJJC. I'm going to try and create a break about here, just in front of the door handle, and that way, so we can also test the Magifoam on a similar bit. So let's get the test spray going here. Nice. Nice load up. And switch to 50ml Magifoam. So 10% strength of each. Thickness looking nice. Movement nice. Let's get in and have a look at the dirt. Get the test squirt out the way. Here we are. So we can see plenty of dirt being pulled down. Look at that. Lovely. And it's all pooling on the floor as you would expect. Plenty of browning on the tyres. Nice, nice. And then onto Magifoam. You're not seeing quite the level of excitement, although we are seeing dirt in the pure white foam underneath where I've been doing the Magifoam section. And also, I suppose, maybe the touchless has had 30 seconds more, but look. I mean, this sort of tells the story. If I do a little pan across here, I will tell you when we're to the Magifoam part. In fact, it is blatantly apparent. So there is the brake, and then onwards is Magifoam. That doesn't seem, I know this isn't enormously scientific, but it doesn't seem to be breaking down the dirt as much. Look at that. That is clobbering that. Right, let's pause. No, I'll keep it running. I just don't like that shudder when the camera goes back in the tripod. However, for the sake of, so you can see that it's all still current and live, I reckon we've got another minute in that. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Oh, and just in case you'd, when I started filming it after I turned around, thought, the wheels are clean now. Well, that's because I started shooting the video and I'd said at the beginning I wasn't going to shoot the wheel cleaning, but then realised I'd dive straight into the foam and forgot to do the wheels at all. So I thought, right, I better do them. Right. So, in we go. So that's the touchless side. Let me just get in front of the cam, get this all rinsed. Doesn't have to be all rinsed, I just don't want it to dry on the paintwork really. Obviously, I am going to foam the car in a moment anyway. Right, we're still in shot. Try and be really fair and even on the bit where I know we're going to test. Well, they've both done really well. That I will say. So, what we got? What have we got? Let's just get the camera around to here. And what we're going to do is door handle down. So we're going to go that way. And that was a good, firm push on touchless. And then we'll do an upper door handle forwards. And that is absolutely pristine. So that's going in the touchless pocket. And same, my apologies. Door handle, so this way, good firm push. About the same, I think, but we'll compare. And then another up, good long push on that bit. Clean. So, touchless, Magifoam. Not a great deal in it, eh? And then uppers, let's find the wet spot. That's what they all say. Clean, clean. So, great. Absolutely great. So, well, not a lot in it, you would say. Right. I might make a... I'm just going to load all that up and you can watch. Who doesn't like a bit of foaming? So I think what I'm going to do is pour some of the weak one, waste not, want not. So we'll mixed. I'm just going to throw them in. The science part is over. So this was the really, really weak one. This was the second from the strongest. Just to give the Bilt Hamber a fighting chance. That always happens. Right, let's get that on. And then whatever's left is going in the Polar Blaster. And we'll fuzz that out of the car. Whatever's left is going on with weeds. Right, let's just chuck it up. Let's get her covered. I was interested to see actually how it got on with cleaning up in the arches. Because as you could see from the state of the car, trust me when I say the arch liners were equally slaughtered. Well, that is highly satisfying. Right, and let's also get rid of whatever's in the MJJC as well. Nice. there we have it. Whatever's left is going on the weeds. Oh, there is none left. The weeds get to live us here another day. Incidentally, a friend of mine said about salt. So I did salt on some the other day as a test, and it was wonderful. He was saying that's where they're saying salt the earth comes from, apparently. Anyway, it was, apologies, I hit the mic. It was good, so I'm going to test some more. Right, see how it's done up here. Well, they were filthy. I could see the dirt whizzing off. Right, let's have another look at another one. That was fun. That's done pretty good, actually. It's done pretty good. Not bad at all. Nice, nice. Nice. Got a good blanket up here. Sweet. Boot was pretty dirty. Well, I wouldn't discount. I know we're totally, the cannon's all mixed up now, but I wouldn't discount either product. Let's see, look at this. Not bad at all, considering it was mullered. Anyway, so yeah, other than maybe when you look at the when we were examining the pull down, maybe slightly more impressive in the Bilt Hamber camp. However, swab tests, very, very close. Right, let's get that fully rinsed and I'll be back and then we'll get into the contact wash. Right, so now we're doing Chemical Guys Citrus Wash and Gloss. I'm not sure how it's going to go because the Polar Blaster, because it hasn't got the silicone tube, weighted silicone tube, you can't sort of use that to break up the bits. But clearly we're going to be fine. And using this today just purely to use the product up to make space. So we're getting towards the end of that bottle. Make sure we've got plenty of coverage on the bit that I'm going to do the slipperiness test on. Pretty good consistency, actually. I am ashamed to say I didn't measure the quantities. However, in my defense, I did loads of measuring very slowly and precisely and tentatively earlier. Lovely. Just checking the rake of the other windscreen. The sun is warming up. Anyway, feels nice. Oh yeah, plenty slippery. Feels good. Feels good. Right, let's just bring the bucket over. Get the bonnet done. We'll hit that just to see how it's getting on, and then I'll get the rest of the car done off cam, and then we'll have a little tickle with the ceramic shield just to see how that goes. Right. Yep. Frame check. Happy. Recording. Happy. Maybe a tiny little bit less beady and a bit more sheety. That's what I was keen to examine, because I felt sure in the past I've used the Chemical Guys product and discovered that it had stripped some coating, but I think we're good. I'd have to go back over old videos to review what coating that affected. I can't remember, it might have been Geon, something like that, back in the day when I just used Geon as my primary go-to coating and hadn't moved anything like a little bit more durable, shall we say, like jet seal I've done on the Fab before, or Sigma. I think they've all had a bash of Sigma. It's so good. Anyway, I'll get that 2-bucketed and rinsed, and then we'll get the armour all on, start agitate that round a little bit just to distribute it nicely, then we'll rinse, and then we'll look at the drying, get that finished up. I'll get everything bone dry, get tyre serum on, and then we'll have a look at the end results, and I'll wrap that one up. Right, see you in a bit. Right, so we've got 5 capfuls of Armour All ceramic shield in the MJJC, and we know this isn't a contact phase, and the pre's been done at length. The contact phase has been completed. But I'm going to put this on with the cannon, and then I'm going to put one splat in the mitt, and I'm just going to push it all around the car. Quick, 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 quick. There we go, that's that all gone. And that is prime brake time to get nozzle in, perform test squirt, and we are going like so. Just a tiny, make sure we're in shot. Yep, tiny bit like so. And I am literally just going to put my paw in, have a little squeeze, and then push it all around the car. Nice and quick. Nice and quick. Again, very similarly to the shampoo applied with a cannon. It's nice because you can clearly see where you have and haven't been. And to reiterate, car's been preed, car's been 2-bucketed and rinsed copiously. So this is purely to distribute the product nice and evenly. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. It's quite nice actually. Gives it that little bit of dwell. And you're totally satisfied that you've got everywhere. Super job. Let us see how that is. I think. Right. Right, let's just moisten up. So it doesn't dry. We'll have a look at the bonnet. Fantastic. Wonderful. Just what we need. Right, I'm going to get that all rinsed, get the tyre product on, get it absolutely dry to the max, and then I'll be back and we'll wrap that one up and sign out. See you in a moment. Right, and that's that one done. Had to cut a few corners in the end because partner just said she'd like to, she needs to go down the horse yard to feed the horses. I had said to her, you can use the Fabia. However, because I got bored earlier, I accidentally cleaned the Fabia and it's looking puckaroony. So I'd like it to be like that for the rest of the working week. It's just how I am. Vehicle vanity. Anyway, so only corner I cut really was I used Autoglim instant tyre dressing rather than Garage Therapy tyre serum. I thought I've got time to put the tyre serum on, but if she's leaving in 3 minutes, that will just get flung everywhere and make little marks all over the alloys. So I'd rather not. Anyway, so armour all, lovely. Nice finish, glass good, cleaned up okay. Obviously there's more I could do, but time constraints suggest that is a no-no. And hopefully you enjoyed the distant memory now. It's a distant memory. Hopefully you enjoyed the Magifoam and touchless part at the beginning of the video. And apologies if I was a bit woolly today, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. As always, take very, very good care of yourselves, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.